This is the first of probably 3 videos on playing a selected file in Media Element, which is an object in WPF and Xaml that allows you to play video and audio files. It's really great. It's totally comes with the system and is really simple to use. And basically this breaks down into 3 subproblems. The first subproblem is having a user interface in WPF and Xaml that allows the user to select a file. And the second subproblem is playing a file with Media Element. And then the third subproblem is putting the 2 other subproblems together and playing any user selected file with Media Element. So this video is largely about subproblem 1, getting the user interface to select a file. We want to create a new project that's a WPF application and click OK. That comes up with the usual 3 windows: the XAML code behind, the XAML designer, and the XAML window itself. And initially we need an object to initiate the process, so let's drag a button over and change the content of the button to select play file and give it a more meaningful name like BTN play file, for BTN for Hungarian notation for button. And then in order to create a event handler for the click event for this button, we just need to double click on the button the same way we do with the Windows form. So double click, and this is the code behind. And ideally what we want to use is something like OpenFileDialog. And in fact we can use OpenFileDialog, but not as straightforwardly as we could with Windows form. So we have to add another using Microsoft Win32 for OpenFileDialog. Whoops. And then down here we have OpenFileDialog OFD equals new OpenFileDialog. And then in the if statement to check if the user actually selected a dialog. We have OFD.showDialog equals true. Unfortunately we can't use the nice dialog result.ok and so on that we had before, or haven't found a way so far. And then all we want to do for this subproblem is create a message box. So do MB tab and then get rid of all this extra overhead junk because it does directly understand message box, and say OFD dot file name and if it doesn't, if the user says cancel instead of selecting, put up a message box that says no file selected. And this is looking pretty good. I'll keep researching and see if there is a way of using dialog result, but I don't think there is. Everything I've read says all you can get is a true or false back from the OFD show dialog. So if we compile and run this, well, first save it. And then compile and run it. And click on the select play file. The OpenFileDialog does indeed come up. And that's one place I know I have a ton of videos. Is the videos I make for these videos. So if I go down here and I select one of these variables or one of these videos and press OK or open, you see it pops up the name of the selected file, which is exactly what we want for subproblem 1. And if I do the same thing but hit cancel, it says no file selected. So this does indeed work. On to subproblem 2 in the next video, where things get interesting with media element actually playing files. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a lot, and I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe.